getting it, fellas. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band. This is the Blog. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, Kev, along with my lifelong companions, my hetero lifelong companions, punk rock Steve Seagal, also known as Head in a Jar Higo.
Yeah, I am not punk rock Steve Seagal.
No.
And never
what
to
about
be
Carpenter
left
Tom
out.
Selleck?
There you go.
That's just up there for the week after we did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
That's right.
Yeah.
And everybody put your hands together for Slave 2 weeks.
Howdy.
Welcome to the show, folks. This week we are tackling, God, I don't even know when this movie was made.
98, I think.
99?
99, wow. Yeah, the 1999. This is a cult classic for sure, man. This is a little movie that kind of went under the radar, but it's great. It was written by the Farrelly brothers, and that would be Outside Providence. We referenced it last week when we did Kingpin with the Stallones. And in light of George Wendt passing, we decided to do this movie because he's in it, and we figured why not. So,
why not?
Yeah, let's get into it. High level.
You guys go first.
Chat. Okay. All right. You want to go, Ben, or you want me to go?
Sure. I'll go. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've seen this. I feel like we probably watched it together like a couple, like I think you introduced me to it, to be honest.
Oh.
And I know we watched it a couple times, but I remembered remarkably little about it.
Really?
Like, I remembered them like, being douchebags in Pawtucket, and, I remembered Alex Baldwin calling Timothy dildo for the entire time, and, just like vague things. I completely forgot about the fact that like he was going to, like he got sent to private school in Cornwall, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it was quite enjoyable. There's a lot of really funny stuff. There's some great drama, some kind of sad shit,
Yeah.
But I think it all works pretty well.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's great. I've seen this movie many, many times. This is easily a every 6 month, if not a yearly watch. I had actually just watched it about, 2 or 3 months ago. I have a copy of it, and I just love this movie, man. It's so fucking New England, man. And I love that it takes place in the 70s, man. It's very cool.
Mm.
This is a great example of like, the sort of the card table guys, man, getting Richard Jenkins and George Wendt, to play little parts in this movie is pretty incredible, man, and they lend a lot to it. And, Alec Baldwin, he's done a lot of great movies. This might not be his best performance, but it's really fucking good. And it's definitely one of my favorites of his. I'm sure you would agree with that, Ben. And
Yeah, definitely.
it's just fantastic, man. I love this movie. I love everything about it. It's great, especially growing up so close in proximity to where this takes place, to a couple of the places,
Yeah,
So anyway, yeah, big fan.
undoubtedly.
I'm very interested to hear what you think about this, C-Lab.
Yeah, man. I have never seen this and never heard of this movie before. So, it was a clean, clear, freshy for me. It was really good. Like I actually didn't have any of the connection. Like I didn't realize it was Peter Farrelly. So like I just had no context whatsoever. I don't know, like I went into it with like Kingpin was a comedy, let's do another comedy. And I was like,
Sure.
like that was it. So I had no idea of the connective tissue. And then I saw George Wendt and I was like, oh, that must be it. So then, it's like it's got quite a bit of, chuckle out loud moments for me for sure. Like there's quite a bit of quippy, funny shit, and then there was like,
No
you know,
doubt.
he's a good shit, and there's all the like New England shit that I grew up with because like my family,
Totally.
my family's from New Bedford, you know, so like at least
Holy
half
shit.
of my family, so like being close to all of that and the accents, like all of my cousins and shit have that accent, so
Yeah.
was really fun. Like I don't know, I love the New England vibe. Then you layer on a classic, you know, fish out of watery school movie, and then it's like a prep school variant of the genre, and then it's, you know, it's like there's all these different layers going on, and then it has a whole bunch of heart. So
Total heart.
yeah, and then like you said, and on top of that, you got Alex Baldwin just killing it. Excuse me, Alec Baldwin. That's a death. And
That's all right.
Alex Baldwin.
you know, whatever. His cousin, his New Bedford cousin,
It's
Alex.
Alex cousin. Yeah, totally. Very nice.
So it has a lot going for it, man. You know, and I really appreciate it. I don't know Sean
Hatosy
or whatever. I mean, I assume he's done some other stuff, and he really did a great job carrying it. And then you've got some kind of '90s classics like Jonathan Brandis and Amy Smart and some of the other heads that are in it, mixed with, you know, the poker table classics. You know, some really great.
God, fucking
Richard
the poker
Jenkins
table's great.
and all that kind of jazz. So it's got a hell of a lot going for it, and I don't know. I'm curious to see where we go with it, because like I feel like it was like, I don't know. It's kind of like a warm bowl of soup kind of movie. You're like, you know, it's refreshing, but it has a bit of nostalgia and has a little bit of wistfulness and a little bit of sadness, and
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options.
Yeah, this is a comfort food movie for me as well. You know, like I have quite a few of those. We've talked about that often on the show. But I think between the setting, you know, like really, really bringing out the New England, like it's just a great story, man. It's the 70s, like all that stuff just screams comfort food to me, man. And it's like I love to watch this movie. It's like
I'll interrupt
cozy
very
blankie.
briefly to change my bowl of
Please.
soup to like on a cold day when you go into like a restaurant or some shit and they have like a giant ass fucking bowl of chowder. You know what I mean? Like you get into it and you like crush some of the oyster crackers on, and you're just like, first few bites going and your belly warms up and you're like, yeah, dude, I'm so here for
I'm
this.
feeling that right now. Yeah. That's good. Chowder.
Not a bread bowl, just a just nice big fuck off bowl of chowder.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you like this, man. This movie, I really wanted you to like because of all those reasons, man. And I mean, it's not a hard stretch, you know. It's a very likable movie, dude. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and I'm glad
I mean, if
that
you come
it was like
expecting horrible, like Tom Green gross out comedy because you watched the wrong fucking trailer, you might be like, what the fuck? But like anyone who has any appreciation for film, I think would like this movie. And many people that maybe don't would also like it. It's super approachable.
It is, and I think it's also like, you know, it's a coming of age story with heart, you know, and it's a little bit different on the coming of age.
Yeah.
You know, they tackle some tougher topics in that genre, and then, you know, the comedy's there, you know what I mean? So it's like coming of age sort of comedy. I mean, it is a comedy, right? Kind of.
Yeah. It is.
Dramedy.
Yeah,
Dramedy, yeah, exactly.
dramedy.
Dramedy is a really good word for it, sure.
When it got started, I was kind of assuming it was going to be, you know, fuckhead party high school kind of movie. In the like PCU sense, or like, you know, back to school or old school or fucking, you know, like any of those kind of movies. And I kind of like that it veers away from it. Like, I don't know, you just kind of assume the kid's going to go off to school and cause a ruckus, but he goes off to school and kind of like sorts himself out. And like, I kind of, you know, you were cracking a joke about it just before we started recording about like, I got nothing to say. Old mate said it all in the kind of funeral scene, and the way that the main character kind of scoffs, you know, it's like he's kind of grown past the knuckleheadness.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yes. It's good. It's a good point.
But I have a soft spot for this genre. I have a soft spot for coming of age school / university movies. I didn't go to college because whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a fucked up time in a person's life, the teenage years, that it's kind of I have a nostalgia for it. Like it's super random, but like last night it was M was out and I had the kids, and we kind of do like a movie night sometimes on a Friday.
Sure.
And we were trying to figure out what to watch, and the kids decided to watch Inside Out 2, which obviously is a little bit more of a teenagey movie with like the anxiety stuff and stuff. But we were watching it, and you know, they were kind of a little bit, I don't know, like my Hannah's 4. She was like kind of a little bit like, she would actually like get a little bit scared about the times when the anxiety character was doing anxiety stuff or like fighting with the Joy character. And it's like, it's a very basic thing, but like even just watching that, I found, you know, talking to my kids and they're like, well, what's anxiety? Is it bad? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like, it's just, it happens sometimes. It doesn't have to happen. You know, trying not to be like, there's anxiety attacks and you're going to fucking get them, kids. You know, just being just like, just being like, it's okay to have your emotions and feel all of your emotions. And when you're a teenager, when you're like 13, you're going to get a lot of them, and it's a really confusing time. And so just even just like touching on it and trying to explain like how fucking difficult those years are to a 7-year-old. And then you see this kind of a movie from the perspective of a 40-year-old, and you're just like, oh man, that was a crazy time. And there's lots of good stuff, but there's also lots of bad stuff. And I think that's why I have a soft spot for this genre, is it's touching on such a crazy time in everyone's life. And I'm sure I'm speaking for the three of us when there were ups and downs. And for me, there may be more downs than ups at that age, but it came good after, you know, so.
Sure.
I don't know. It's just, there's a lot in that space that I connect with as a genre.
I don't know. I think that's why it's a popular genre, man. You know, like you know, there's tons of coming of age movies, man. And you know, there's all different sorts that have been made, you know, and it's like, it's easy to connect with if you're a guy and it's the subject matter is about boys or men, whatever. Boys becoming men.
Boys to men.
You know what I mean?
ABC,
yeah. Whoa. Nice one.
Motown Philly.
Back again. You know, it's easy to connect with those, you know, and you know, similarly, there's sort of female versions of that kind of thing out there as well, you know. But yeah, it's easy to have a soft spot for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's a genre.
It is
a genre. I mean, really, the coming of age thing is the most on the nose version of growing as a person. I mean, almost every fucking movie is about a person growing. So in this particular case, it's through that teenage lens.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Alec Baldwin, and he just, that home dynamic, family dynamic, I feel like was really kind of the heart of it all.
100%. I mean, you got the Greek chorus with the card guys, you know?
Yeah.
Talking about,
and the obvious
you know,
cutting between the card guys talking and the teenagers sitting around talking.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but like it's also like I mean, there have been other ones like it, I'm sure. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it's a coming of age story in like a very working class environment. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that there haven't been like those before, but it's just different. And the way they did this one was different. You know, the whole thing about the mom, I think, really adds like another really deep, intense layer to it. You know what I mean? That
totally.
You may not see that often, or if you do, they don't handle it the way that these guys do, you know? And it's like, as funny as the Farrellys are, like, you know, this movie's really good. It's really well written with great dialogue and again, heart, because I think of the subject matter that they choose to tackle, you know? Like the mom being gone is like it's a pretty central thing, man, you know? Like, yeah, Alec Baldwin's funny, but there's a lot of other shit going on there too that's very cool about him and his character, you know?
Totally.
Being a widowed man in the 70s, like, raising 2 boys, that's a lot, dude. That's a lot of shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he doesn't show a lick of it, you know?
Yeah.
Your typical guy from that time frame, you know, it's just
100%.
You know, 100%
bottled the fuck up,
holding up the front, you know, keeping the family going, etc. Even though, yeah,
kinda,
he's clearly not a perfect dad. Yeah, exactly. Clearly not a perfect dad, but you know, at least he gives a shit, you know.
Yeah,
but he does give a shit. Yeah, he really does give a shit, and like he does he does do really right by those kids, man. And if you really like this time, you know, I watched some of it today and some of it yesterday, and you know, he really lays it out, you know, like what he's teaching them, and it's good and it's right, you know, but he does it's in such a simplistic way, you know what I mean? Like when he's talking about the girl, you know, when he's sitting, you know, your favorite scene in the fucking universe, Ben, when he's sitting there with that fucking tub of ice cream.
Dude, that's such a great scene.
You know?
I totally misremembered that too. It's completely different.
I did too,
why.
man.
Who gives a fuck?
Well, because it's that scene, like what I'm about to reference. Well, let me reference that first. Like it's, you know, he starts talking about the girl, you know, he's like, you putting the wood to that, you know, you putting the wood to that little girl, you know, and he's like, just remember, it ain't, you know, it's like making sex is like Chinese dinner. It ain't over till you both get your cookies. You know what I mean? And he's
Remember
like,
I said
and then he says,
Okay,
yeah. Remember I said that. And then he says, it's just as much the guy's responsibility, man. And it's like, he speaks volumes in those two statements that are very funny. It's very funny the way he presents it. And Alec Baldwin is, you know, he's fantastically funny. He's like undisputably funny, right? But he's also undisputably fucking deep as an actor, man.
Bang
it's
on.
like,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on in that, man. And I love that. I love that about the character. And it was kind of a layer that I've just discovered, like, you know, recent watches, man. You know, like he's really given his boys everything that they need. It's just in a, you know, super like stripped away simple manner, man. Like a lot of the shit that he says to him, even sending him to the fucking prep school, you know.
Yeah.
Grass, you hit a parked cop car. That's like my third favorite line in the movie, dude. You know,
It's so good.
Fucking horn.
a musical horn.
I mean, and I think that's like, it's the core component of the heart, obviously, but I think so often in a story, the dad's an asshole because he's an asshole, or because he's stunted, or because he's a prick, or because he's selfish. And in this case, he's an asshole, but the scene where he talks about, you know, not being able to handle the mental illness, and like they went out one time and the whole time they were together and like he couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Shows that he was actually thinking and trying to take care of himself in his own way, and not in a selfish way, but just being like, this is unhealthy. And then it blows up, like, you know, she shoots herself and it blows up in his face, and it destroys him. So cool. Like there's that piece where he's not an asshole. He's not like he beats her up and then she shoots herself or some shit.
No.
And then they're like trying to be like, yo, you know, everybody gets a cookie. Like,
yeah,
he's actually pretty fucking switched on, especially for a dude in the 70s, which
100%.
not to
man,
mention
that's what I'm saying.
the like how happy I was that George Wendt is back at the table at the end, because that scene, while accurate to the 70s, where, you know, he outs himself and his friends are like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah,
it was great to see that they were thoughtful to bring him back to the table.
100%.
And have that group of poker players kind of grow in a similar way to the main character kind of being accepting of some stuff. So like, it's a bit like on the nose and maybe not realistic, but I appreciated it. I just think like,
I don't think it's that unrealistic, man. And I think like what you said is really spot on. And I just wanted to include the part where he, you know, and again, like this is like, I think it's smack in the middle of the 70s. I think it's 75.
yeah, something like that.
And it's like he says, I wanted her to be something that she could never be. You know what I mean? So he's like, not only everything you just said, and then it's like he's admitting that he had this fantasy about this woman, you know, and he wanted her to be this certain way, and she could never be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
like the pedestal
and then he
trip,
fucked up. Yeah, he fucked up, and he fell in love, and it was like love at first sight, and all of that. Like that's a heavy load, man. And you know, especially for a real 70s man's man like that to be laying that out, dude, that's pretty that's pretty forward thinking, man. Very cool.
And 70s medical stuff, you know, like I am making an assumption here, but I'm pretty sure that like all the bipolar-y kind of thing was just not diagnosed. No. Like, I mean, not to change the subject, but Jonathan Brandis, who's in this briefly, like he killed himself at 30. And it's, generally thought that he probably had something like manic depression or bipolar. And I feel like those types of illnesses just were prevalent, but maybe not medicated. And like, it's completely reasonable that, Alec Baldwin falls in love with a beautiful girl who has some issues and they're just not helped because at the time it was just not something that was broadly treated or it was poorly treated or, and like she was set up to fucking fail. And it's just heartbreaking.
Or just completely undiagnosed, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People, that's happened with a bunch of different things because at a certain point, people didn't know what the hell, from everything from like, mental health issues to like, just like a shit to cancer, for what it's worth. Like people just didn't know what the fuck it was. And then suddenly like, medicine figures out what it is. And then, then there's always a contingency of people that are like, it's got to be the stuff they're putting in the water.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. I wanted to talk about Jonathan Brandis, man. He's sick. I wish his part was bigger. He's very memorable in this movie, man. And he's actually from the town right next to me. That's where he grew up, man. It was a big deal when he was, because he's around our age, and it was a big deal when he was like doing all that stuff, man, because he was from Danbury. And it was like, he did Sequest.
Which was awesome when I was a kid.
It was.
I
loved it too, man. But in Sidekicks too with
Sidekicks is great.
Right, with Chuck Norris, right?
Yeah, and then he did Ladybugs too with Dangerfield.
Ladybugs with Rodney was great, man. You know what I mean? Like he was doing some really cool stuff, dude.
I was getting that one confused for Ladybugs. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure this
Sidekicks.
I'm going to look it up.
I must have.
I think this was his last movie.
Yeah, maybe he was in another Bruno war movie and he got cut, and then he went like they cut all of his scenes, and he thought that was going to be his way back on top, and then he just got depressed and killed himself. Unfortunately, it seems.
Yeah. I love when they go in at the beginning and he goes, "What's this?" And he goes, "It's a beard." You know why guys wear beards, don't you?
Because they're queer.
Because they don't look manly enough.
The fucking New England accent is just so heartwarming. I love it so much.
So fucking great, dude. Oh, he was in Neverending Story 2.
Yeah. That classic.
Oh, no, I was wrong. That was not his last movie, but it was close. Ride with the Devil, Heart's War. Heart's War was the Bruce Willis thing. Between the Sheets, Gramercy Park, Bad Girls from Valley High. Yeah. Anyway, really tragic, but he's very memorable.
It's a pretty small part in this, too. But.
Totally. I love it. Alec Baldwin. I almost did it. Alec Baldwin's character is listed as Old Man Dumphy. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense from the perspective of the kids. That's like, often you don't even know the names of your fucking buddy's parents or whatever.
Sure.
Back in the day, at least.
Dude, I always called, if I didn't know my friend's last name, I would always call his mom like, "Oh, hi, Mrs. Billy's mom."
I kind of wish the Fairleys had done a bit more of this kind of thing, man. I know it failed at the box office, and Something About Mary was around at the same time, but I'll take one of these over Fairley Brother fucking booger fart joke movie any day.
Yeah, I know. Me too. This is really good, man. Yeah, it would have been cool if they had done more stuff like this.
I mean, one of them did Green Book with Aragorn. That's a fun
really?
movie, dude. Yeah.
Huh. Nice.
Not sure if you guys seen that one, but it's worth checking out.
No, I will. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. What?
I'm getting caught up on Yahoo News.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna take a well-deserved large ejection death here.
Who was Skidmark's squirrel, the character in Kingpin? Is that the girl who tries to dance with the Mormon dude? Not the Amish dude.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because that's the mom. The mom actress in this movie is The girl who tries to dance with
What is the
Yeah.
mom? Which mom? What do you mean? Like the
the
dead
mom, the mom who kills herself, like the flashback scene with the BB gun.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
As with everything, almost all the actors in this movie are in all of the Farrelly movies because they seem
Of
to like to work
course.
with the same peeps. But
Yeah. Especially Kavich. Oh, that's right. He was in The Faculty and The Postman.
what are you doing, man?
I'm looking up Sean Hatosy, man. I wanted to see what else he had done. I thought Outside Providence was his first movie. It wasn't. This is like his first big movie, though.
Gotcha.
Like where he was like basically the excuse me, the lead character. But I had never seen this guy before this movie. You know,
Same.
I didn't really know anything about him. I had never seen I saw The Faculty many years later, but I really like him, man. He's got a very like, I don't know. He so seems like he's from Rhode Island. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
I don't know where he's from, but like he really, really nails that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Springsteen style, double denim.
He's not. He's from Maryland.
I mean, that's coastal enough.
Sure.
It's not New England per se, but
No, it's not. But I don't know. He just did a really. I mean, even finding out that he's from Maryland, that makes me think even more how he really, really nailed it. Like he really. He got the whole New England thing down, dude, and he.
big time.
You know, really, really did a good job of it, dude. You know, not just the New England thing, the blue collar thing, and it's like there's a great contrast between him and Amy Smart. You know, because she's very obviously comes from a more well-to-do part of Virginia. You know, and he's just like this kind of blue collar guy. Like, yo, we gotta have one last blowout in Pawtucket. You know,
Yeah.
it's fucking great.
I think it's fairly well done. I mean, I always think back to the kid that, you know, my buddy Dave, who I used to work with, who was from Warwick.
Oh boy,
Warwick, Rhode Island.
there you go.
That he was the kid that was like, yo, Betty, fucking.
Yeah, dude.
Right, like that
100%.
kid, like,
Nice,
yeah,
dude.
It was like, so that's what I always think of. I don't know how accurate that is because he's from Warwick, you know.
Sure.
But, I
Close
feel
enough.
like a lot of time I spent in Providence, like it wasn't actual Rhode Island people that I was meeting, you know, or like,
Yeah.
Right,
grew up in Rhode Island people, you know.
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're the college kids that came to town or something.
Yeah, a lot of that. RISD students, you know.
Well, being on the island, I mean, like, I feel more like an Amy fucking Smart than I do Tim Dunphy. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
super waspy fucking rich kid haven. Or even if you were like not blue collar, but even if you're like a working man family on the island, you're still a hell of a lot better off than a lot of other New England spots, just based on the cost of living stuff and the income and stuff.
100%, man.
The Pawtucket was I just loved the setting. It was just the old kind of salt box shithole fucking street, like the paper route stuff, you know, in the beginning. And the
Oh yeah.
three-legged dog with the eye patch, like that. You see that opening scene, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be some like crazy ass comedy with a three-legged fucking tripod cyclops dog. But it very quickly shifts gears.
Yeah. No, it does. I think the setting's great too, man. I didn't realize that like Pawtucket is like so close to Providence. I've never actually been there, so
Pawtucket Paw Socks.
Oh, yeah. Pawtucket, man.
the bucket.
Fucking the paw socks.
I've always heard of them, but never been there.
So it's like I totally figured that like when they were talking about going to the game,
Yeah, they were going to the Paw Sox game. Exactly.
they were going to the Paw Sox
Oh,
game, but he was talking
yeah.
about Namath. So like
Yeah.
somehow they like hitched it like all the way to Foxborough to go see the Patriots play.
And they did actually say in one of the films that was Foxborough, which it didn't look like Foxborough. It looked like the local shithole stadium.
Yeah, but it's not that far from Pawtucket, man. I'm looking at it on the map right now.
I love how we're talking
I
about
think-
Foxborough, though.
Well, isn't like the stadium that they're using now slightly newer, and there
Oh,
used
yeah.
to be like a shittier older one, like in the 70s in the same area.
Wait, Gillette in Foxborough?
Yeah, Gillette is in Foxborough.
Oh, sorry. I think there was an older stadium somewhere else.
Yeah.
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 100%. Had to be.
Going to see the Pats. I'm fucking kid. put on his best disabled kid face. Thank you.
Oh my God.
That was funny, man.
Thank you.
You would totally like as fucking, you know, offended as people could be about that kind of bullshit. It's like you would definitely do that with your little brother. You know what I mean? You'd be like,
For
ham
sure,
it up. Let's
man.
get some fucking tickets to the game.
Yeah.
Him in the back of the truck too. Just like the way that it just like cuts to the truck stopping and he just rolls backwards and smacks in. Stop fucking around. Let's go.
Something so quintessentially 70s about a fucking kid in a wheelchair in the back of a pickup truck.
I mean, the amount of times I got my ass around in the back of a truck back in those days, man.
100%, man. Foxborough was the Patriots moved to Foxborough in 71.
You're looking at the architectural plans right now.
I'm looking at everything, dude. They moved there in 71, and then they built Gillette Stadium in the same spot in 2001.
There you go. So it's the old stadium.
Yeah, they've been there forever.
I kind of wish it was a Paw Sox game and not a Pats game. But
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That would have been better, man. It would have been more Rhode Island. You know, like I don't know. I like the whole like, you know, getting towed behind the bike and then the van, you know, to do the paper route. Like
drugs. Well, and it's funny. It's funny, and then you get the double whammy of then drugs. Like he's like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah," and then he starts laughing too. Like he's such a fuck up.
Totally.
I maybe like I know we're bitsing and bobsing here, but the scene where the fucking the dean and the asshole
man, I was just
teacher
about to
read
bring
the
that
fucking
up.
note.
The thing that jumped out at me this time was how they start the conversation. He goes, we got a letter from some, it's like, do you know somebody named Drugs? And he goes, Drugs Delaney? And Thunderberg goes, how many people named Drugs could you possibly be associated with? Which I never picked up before. I don't know why. But I'll tell you something. When I saw that scene for the first time, I was absolutely pissing. I mean, I was on the floor, like stomach just completely seized up laughing. It was so fucking funny, man. The way they had that actor, I just saw his
Timothy
name,
Crow,
dude.
Thunderberg.
That's it. Yeah. No, not Tim Crow. The other guy. Yeah, that played Dean Moore. It was George Martin. He's been in a lot of movies, man, and
he's great.
He is great, and he's funny too. And like the way, like that stuffy dude reading that letter that way, and then cutting to like just the whole sequence is so brilliant, man. Cutting to drugs, like on the table, fall asleep, you know, and like the old man reading that slang was it just slayed me, man. It was so fucking funny. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You might have just said this, but Tim Dunphy just like slowly getting lower and lower and lower.
Yeah. Just melting into the chair. Yeah. It was great.
I love that Drugs passes out in the middle of writing the letter.
Right.
And then continues writing it as if like he was having a phone conversation. Oh, sorry, bro. I must have fallen asleep.
Yeah, right.
But that was actually like really clever filmmaking too, because like the bit, it's a long bit. And if it didn't cut to Drugs reading some of the letter and passing out, it might have just gotten a bit boring, but like it reinvigorates it a little bit when it cuts to him reading. So it's like him and the dean reading the thing. It's really well handled.
No, that break is important because it's like just when you think like, oh, this is like funny, the joke's kind of played out. It's like he wakes up and then it just like freaking reignites the entire thing again.
Well, and like there, you know, like it cuts to Drugs, and then he's like fucking, and you like, if the dean had to say that, it wouldn't have been as funny. But you imagine the dean saying it when you hear Drugs saying it, and it makes it even funnier. You know, like it's like there's actually quite a few layers to the joke.
No, it is. It's really well structured, really well laid out, man. That whole scene is fantastic, dude. You know, and you know the people they got. You know, like Thunderberg is just like so that like
God, he just
looks like one of those D-bags. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a power trip thing too. You know,
totally. You know,
yeah, definitely in the wrong line of work.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Thunderberg.
I had some of my buds go to like some of these schools. I thankfully never had to go, but I don't know. Maybe I have like a bit of a fascination with the prep school thing. Not in a good way, but just in a like, Jesus, it seems like a horrible place way.
Yeah.
You know, you got like the Rushmore side of it, which is a different kind of a vibe, but
Sure.
you've even got like the Dead Poets stuff. You know, I think it would be really, I don't know if good is the word, but like getting sent off to a place like this in those years when you're having the hardest fucking time. And it's an all boys school. Like I've never understood separated sexes school. I think it just like, I can't imagine it does anything good for either guys or girls to be in that kind of environment.
It doesn't.
And so like, it's just like all this stuff and the kid's a fish out of water and he's got zero humans and has to dress like a fucking prep and the teachers are bastards or whatever. And maybe it's a religious school and it's just like, holy shit, that looks like hell on earth, you know?
I don't know if it's hell on earth. It's definitely a weird scene. Like it's its own like sort of weird underworld. And like Connecticut in particular is like ground zero. Like I had a friend on the island that they were sending their kids to private school. And she specifically said, "We're not even bothering to look in Connecticut. It's too much.
Yeah,
like, too intense.
Well, that's where my buds
too
went. They were at
overwhelming."
Kent.
I was like, "Wow,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
sure."
And they
There's
come
a lot
back.
of
Like, I
them, for
remember
sure.
talking to one of my buddies, and he came back. He was from the Young's bike shop family, and they came back and was like, "It's the best." And we're like, "Why?" He's like, "Because it's so easy to get drugs and alcohol." He's like, "All we do all day is like fill up fucking 2-liter bottles of cream soda with vodka and put it in our fridge and just like get fucking hammered and do drugs all the time." And it's just like, oh, it does sound
almost
pretty
like
good, man.
You learn how to be like, instead of like
A
really
degenerate, yeah.
learning how to like really prepping you, quote unquote, for life. You know, it's like it really preps you how to be more of a degenerate. You know, in a weird way. You know, it's kind of fucked up.
It's crazy.
You know, School Ties kind of is the same,
that's a good
similar.
one.
You know, that's another one that I really like. Brendan Fraser.
Well, I was talking about it a few weeks ago on the show. The new Giamatti, movie, The Holdovers, from a few years ago, is a similar one. Where like if you're in the mood for these kind of movies, it's good. It's about a prep school that shuts down for the Christmas break, and like the main character is a teenager and his parents just like leave him, and so it's just like him in an empty snowy school with like the cafeteria lady and Giamatti, who is Funderburk, you know, and it's like a kind of a different type of coming of age. It's pretty good. It's not like amazing, but it's pretty fun.
That looks worth checking out, man. Sounds worth checking out, rather.
I mean, I love me some Giamatti, so.
Let me just not get my phone to look it up.
Right in front of the camera. I love it.
That's funny.
Dude, Amy Smart. Can we talk about how fucking beautiful Amy Smart is?
Well, absolutely.
I just love
Kick it off.
her, seeing her in anything. I think maybe more recently when you guys wanted to do, was it Starsky that she's in? Like, I just think she's just such a girl next door, but all like the 11 out of 10 girl next door. She's just such a charming human. I've always had a soft spot for her. And she doesn't do anything mind-blowing, but she just is very believable. And she did a good job.
I think we started this conversation last week with the Stallones when it might have been Ben that brought up like how they cast these great women in these movies that they do.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they're naturally gorgeous women that aren't like supermodel-y glam girl type women, you know what I mean? But they're stunning and they have depth, you know, and it's like Lauren Holly and Renee Zellweger, and I mentioned Amy Smart, and like she is all of those things. She is gorgeous, but she's so good too, man. And the character's fantastic, you know. Again, the writing, you know, the
love
the movie
story
was written.
Yeah.
And a good
really
one
do
too,
seem
man,
like
because
they have some real chemistry.
Absolutely. And it's not about like horny sex. And that part is apparent. And that's really, really key that they let the audience know that. You know what I mean? I think the director, Michael Corrente, I don't know if he's a friend of the Farrellys or not. Him and the Farrellys wrote the movie together, and then he directed it, obviously. And, you know, it's really well written, man. You know, and that having some like amazing woman that you've got a crush on, because she's not just beautiful. She's really got her shit together, man. She's really like, you know,
smart as fuck.
She's after it. Yeah, exactly. That's a key component to any kind of coming of age situation, man. You know, so
Totally.
it's a really great part of the story. It's a part of the story that I absolutely love too, man. I love all the parts, the dynamics between the two of them, man. You know, because she likes to, you know, have a good time and hang out, but again, you know, she's like, she lays it out. She's like, I don't just want to
pass.
I pass. I want to do well. I want to achieve. I want to, you know, set goals and achieve them, man. You know, and it helps shape him and how he thinks about his life and what he's supposed to be doing in it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's actually around that point when he goes to the funeral, you know, and he's like shaking his head and walking away like, I'm now beyond this, you know?
Totally. It reminded me actually of it wasn't with a girl, but it reminded me of a moment in my life in school where.
Whoa.
No, it reminded me of a moment in my life where I was like, I went the other way. Like, I don't remember why I was thinking about it the other day, but I was reading, you know, when you sit in class and you have to read the book out loud, like, and they go pick on a different person, you're reading some stupid ass fucking book. And like, you know, you get fucking Jimmy fucking Cipriani or some shit from the football team. And he's like, and then the horse went down the road. And you're just like, holy shit, Jimmy. You know, like, it's not like I read ahead. And the teacher called on me. It was like, Chad, can you read the next bit? I'm like, sorry, I was reading ahead. Like, and she was like, you have a detention after school. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. But like, I was like, sorry, I was reading ahead. And this fucking neck kid, this redneck kid was like, I was reading ahead, faggot, you know? And then everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's laughing at me. And for a second, and I was like, from that moment on, I was like, guess who's not fucking trying in school and is going to pretend he doesn't care about school? Because of like the social, you know, and like from that moment on, I was like, fuck you all. I'm going to go do drugs, you know, like Dumphy, you know?
It's like
so,
reverse
the idea
social
of smart
pressure.
being
Yeah.
like, nah, man, I'm not here for that shit. I'm here to get shit done. Like, I love that. And I went totally the other way, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And even when like, I really like when they get busted and then, you know, he's like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, she's like, it's my fault. I didn't have to go up to the dorm. I didn't have to do any of that shit. Like she totally owns it. You know what I mean? And I think, in a way, she teaches him how to like take, you know, have accountability for what he does in his life. You know what I mean? Which ironically enough is like his dad is very like that, you know, which is totally against type of like the 1975 man, you know? So he's like coming at him from both angles. It's like she's almost reinforcing what his dad is, you know, trying to teach him. And certainly when he opens up in the confrontation there at the bar, you know, when he talks about it, tells him about the mom and all that sort of stuff. Like, I know this.
This is a great episode.
No. Go ahead.
That's it.
Yeah, she's just great. Yeah, she's really, really good. Really, really good. I've always thought she was underrated, dude. I always thought she was underrated as an actress, and she's funny too, man. You know, she's fantastic in Starsky and Hutch. And
yeah, totally.
She's underrated. Always want to see more of her. What do you think about her, Benny? Any thoughts about her?
I don't remember her from Starsky and Hutch, weirdly enough.
She was one of the cheerleaders.
Yeah, like double date scene cheerleaders, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I'm super hazy about that one. It's been a while since we did it, but
It was a while ago, for sure.
She's in Starship
no,
Troopers,
she's good.
I remember in that, yeah.
It was brief.
What, Troopers? Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Brief, very quick scene. She's the one that races Carmen to the ship in the beginning.
Okay.
When she says, "Okay, whoever's first gets to fly the ship." Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Yes. No, she was good. She was funny. She was like, you know, kind of a really good choice to just be like the smart chick, you know?
Right. Yeah.
You guys already, you know.
Did we nail it?
You already jumped all over it, so.
Sorry.
Just kind of going like, yes, I agree.
No, that's fine. I didn't know if you had. You always have great comments, so I didn't know if you had.
I like that she's not the like.
under your
super
cloak.
duper popular girl. Like, she's not unpopular by any means. Like, the dude's like, she's the coolest girl in school or something, but it doesn't lean into it, you know? Like, she's not actually, like, in any scenes with a bunch of her friends or anything, you know? She's, like, throwing a Frisbee with a dude once.
Yeah.
But it's not
Right.
like he runs into her and she's, like, you know, hugging her fucking Trapper Keeper with a bunch of girls giggling, you know? Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that she's kind of just flying solo and obviously kind of cool and obviously beautiful, but not in the traditional tropey way.
No, but I think the way she's portrayed in the writing and you know, consequently in the film is she serves her purpose as a woman, as a love interest in the journey of the boy. And they don't give any like extraneous fluff about her, like the pack of girls with the trap. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually really glad they stayed away from it because it kept the focus on the kid and what he was going through. And I think it allowed her to have more dialogue and time and scenes and story.
Yeah.
And I think that was way better time. Holy shit.
I hear you.
That was time
Sorry, I
way
was reading
more
ahead.
well spent. Oh my God, dude.
No, I think
gonna
you,
give myself a
you hit the nail.
death
It's
for
like
that.
what I'm hearing.
Thank you.
what I'm hearing you say is that like the focus wasn't on him winning her over. The focus was on them having a relationship, and that gave enough space for her to be able to change his mind about school and stuff. Like, I think like, yeah, she's a side piece in the beginning and he's crushing on her, but by the end of it, he's like excited that she's in Brown and he's going to go and live. They're going to start a life together in theory. You know what I mean? Like, and that's because of the dialogue, like you said, and because
Yes.
the relationship has a chance to change him, as opposed to the whole movie being about it. Does he get the girl bullshit? That is just boring.
No, it's so played out, dude. And I'm so glad they didn't focus on that bullshit. It was just implied that they were going to be together. The story was still about Tim the entire time. Like, that's what's so fucking great about this movie, you know?
But she's not just a piece of ass. Like, she's a major driving factor in him changing as a person, which like fleshes her
100%.
out as a character, you know? Yeah.
100%. And then she, you know, what do you got? Something there, Benny?
I just said, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, he shows her what he's willing to do for her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, again, because they talk in the bar before they meet her, like he goes back to Pawtucket and they're talking in the bar, you know, and they start asking him about having sex. And he's
You
like,
fuck
I
it
don't
up.
really care.
It's like, all right, man.
Right? And he's like, I don't really care about that. He's like, she's just cool. Like, I can just like hang out with her.
There's like a record scratch moment where he's like, I don't care about. They're like, what?
Yeah. But like, you know, typical guys, but like, he's just like, no, like, which indicates that there's something deeper there. You know what I mean? Which is cool. You know, it's like he's met this. Well, he met this woman and he's like, oh my God. He's like, all women are not like Bunny Cody. You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of the thing there. And like, then later on, she shows him.
Bunny Cody, the dean.
Wait, don't
someone
derail.
fingered Bunny Cody when the dean's reading.
Hold on, let me get this thought out. It's so easy to
sorry.
get sidetracked on this movie, man. But is that, you know, he shows her what lengths he's willing to go for her, right? Because he like, you know, like, I mean, he goes all the way to Brown and like jumps through the guy's window, you know, and really lays it out, man. And not just takes accountability, but like, you know, he's like up in his whole game, like the way he's speaking and like thinking and all of that, dude. And like, he really dials it in. He shows up for her, man, you know, in a major way, just as much as she enhanced him and pushed him to be a better man. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's fucking cool. It's great.
Yeah.
It's such a fantastic dynamic, man, you know, in the movie. And you just, I don't know, maybe because I can't remember anything anymore. I feel like you just don't see that a whole lot in movies. And certainly not in a coming of age movie like this. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of the times the guys are like, you know, on some adventure and it's like the women are just like this window dressing kind of.
Well, it's the subtleties.
Piece of assy.
I think when you said a minute ago, Amy Smart, says it was my fault too, that doesn't happen normally. Normally it's like, fuck you, Tim. And then Tim's like, oh, I'm so sad. And then he goes and talks to the dean. And she's like, actually, I kind of am grateful, Tim. Let's get married. You know, and it's like,
Totally.
the subtlety is what makes all the difference here, you know?
She's going to be Mrs. Dildo.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and even that, like him being called Dildo the whole movie. And then he goes and stands up for the kid Jizz, and like Jizz kind of finds his feet again. And then he goes back to the bar, and Alex like, get me another beer for Dildo. He's like, stop calling me that fucking name. He's like, I'm just joking. You know, like there's a lot of real subtle shit in there.
Oh, totally.
It's just so much more real. I don't know, like,
dude, I never thought about the connection between Dildo and Jizz. Like the way he's. Oh my
sentence.
God!
Can that please be the bitty bitty bitty?
Never
Okay.
thought about the connection between dildo and jizz.
You know, can you text?
Can that has to be a death of some kind?
I got to put that in WhatsApp or I'll forget it. It's so good.
Dude, I never connected the two. It's the best out of context sentence ever. Speaking of jizz, man, that fucking scene where he's lusting after the camp chick, it's just
Oh my
good.
God, yeah, it's so good, so freaking good. I mean, yeah.
I don't know if I like your. I don't know if I like your dildo jizz sentence more or your note to yourself. Bitty 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 dildo and jizz.
I never knew about that. I never thought about the connection between dildo and jizz.
Well, it was one of those rare times where like I didn't see the funny part of it as it was coming out of my brain because I was like, oh my God, how did I never make this connection in the movie before? But like the fact that he was called a super derogatory sexual name and so was Irving, like I never put that together, man. You know what I mean? And that's why maybe that and the fact that they're roommates is why he really sticks up for him. And I love that he sticks up for him, man. And I love when Irv dumps the bucket of ice on the dude's head later because he's sick of it. He's like, don't call me that anymore. Okay.
Well, I just like that, like it's a bit tropey, but I like that the blue collar kid who's, you know, he stands up for himself and others. Like the scene where the lacrosse kid hits Jizz with the ball and he's like, what the fuck, man? And it doesn't turn into like, those are the jocks and they're going to be bullies and then it eventually wins them. None of the bullshit. But he's just like, what the fuck? And then, like, it just gets left there, you know? And then later on,
ironically,
you know, he stands up for...
Well, ironically enough,
stuff,
that's the same guy that he dumps the ice on.
Yeah, there you go. But it's just, like, the obvious thing to the conversation before. The obvious movie has those jocks be the bad guys. The obvious movies has Amy Smart being like, fuck you, Tim, at the end. You know, all that obvious shit isn't being done here. And it makes a huge difference.
And I think it's what makes this movie really special and why it has like a cult following, you know, because it's so gritty. It's so gritty and it's so real. You know what I mean? Like it's such an accurate portrayal. Like even like the upper,
like the story's not but even really accurate, but the growth is accurate,
maybe not.
I would say.
Well, I would say the portrayal of like the kid, like the blue collar portrayal is great. I think that the white collar, you know, the upper crust kid portrayal is great, you know, between Wheeler and the guy that threw the ball that, you know, he dumps the bucket of ice on. Like you said, it's not like, oh, here he is with his pack of jocks. It's like, no, he's like one of the guys that hangs out and smokes weed too. And he picks on Irving all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely different, man. This has got a different rhythm going. You know, they're working off a different beat in this movie. And
the Irving thing is like, it's such a bummer for him because I don't know about you guys, but like, you just don't want to be the kid that gets picked on. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, dude.
And as a kid, like I didn't really do it per se, but like, it's like either I join in on this kid or I become that kid, and like it tends to be this kind of like Lord of the Flies shit going on. You know?
It.
So it's just brutal for the Irvings of the world. Like,
I feel like everybody's been him being picked on to sing
for
the
a
school
moment.
song at least
But, like,
once in their life.
I feel like we've all been that character, that Irving who's gotten a ration of shit. But like, then there's the really unlucky ones that are like always, you know, that they spend their whole life in school as that, and it's like just brutal.
Oh my God, it is brutal.
It comes and goes. No pun intended.
We stand tall.
Jizz
at all
comes and goes.
It comes and goes.
There's been a lot of funny matter of fact saying the word jizz in this.
Well, you were like, I
conversation.
just didn't realize, you know, the whole jizz thing when it was coming out of my mouth. It's like, oh yeah,
connection between. Oh, I didn't even pick that up either.
I know you didn't. I just left it there.
No, you're not supposed to leave that on the
But
table,
I know.
dude.
It's, you know, I just, don't want to beat it too.
Jizz thing when it was, you know.
I don't want to
coming
beat
out of
it
my
too
mouth.
much, pun intended. Hey, you see what I did there?
Oh,
Hey, whoa, hey.
I think the weakest story moment, but I also have no problem with it, is the comeuppance for the skinny Jack kid on the roof.
oh, Wheeler. Yeah,
I
Gabriel
kind
Mann.
of feel like it's obvious that he's the one that ratted them out, and it didn't need to be confronted by Tim on the roof being like, fuck you, man. But I guess, like, I also kind of appreciate that Tim's like, fuck you, dude. You're just going to have a miserable life, you fucking bastard. Because he's that vicious business person who's willing to slice throats to be rich. And,
Right, but
like,
Dunphy-
I kind of like that that's called
Go
out,
ahead.
because like I've worked with people like that. I know people like that
Sure.
that are willing to just throw someone under the bus for their own, you know, career or their own
Totally.
whatever. And it's just like sad more than anything else. Like, cool, man, you'll be that rich guy whose kids fucking hate
Right.
them, who's divorced. Good for you, man. I hope, you know, enjoy
feel like
yourself.
it-
And
I feel like
that's what's
in
being discussed there.
2025. I feel like it happens every 25 seconds. Man,
Exactly.
you know?
But I just don't know how necessary it was. Like, I don't know. I guess you need a little bit of closure, but I thought he was going to try
Here's
and
what
steal
I'll-
the girl. That's what I thought was happening. Because he's the one that's like, she's so
That's
cool.
what I
I
thought.
thought he was going to try and drive a wedge and try and fucking
That's
steal
what I
the girl,
thought he
and
was
that
going to
gonna
try
be
to
the
do with her
end.
too.
Yeah, drama. But I'm
No,
glad
that's
it
what I
wasn't.
thought he was going to do with her too. But here's the thing that I'll say about the throwing off the roof part is that one of the cool things about Dunphy and the way that they structured the story in the movie is that he he doesn't go to the prep school and then like, oh, I gotta like start acting like one of these people or this environment is going to change me. Like they structured it so it's like you can't take the Pawtucket out of the kid, right? You can take the kid out of Pawtucket, right? Like he brings his blue collar Pawtucket, you know, lower class way of doing things to everything, right? So it's not like, oh yeah, you screwed everybody over. Like this is how we do it. You know what I mean? Like this is what I know because this is what we do. Like it's the same thing with like Funderburk. Like he lights the doorknob and heats it up, man. I mean, like it's, you know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff, man. You know, is very like that's the stuff that he brings from his world. You know, and so that's why I think that the roof scene fits. You know, I just don't think it either needed to not be there or it needed to resolve a better way because it didn't. I could make an argument that it resolved fine, like they both just fall and then they cut to something else, and also that it doesn't work because it should have resolved somehow. Like something else should have been said or something else should have been done. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Well,
That's kind of where
he didn't even need to
that.
rat them out. Like it's just Funderburk smells something in the hallway and busts them, and she's expelled. So like it's an intentional choice. It must be like it was a novel that was written by Farrelly in '88. So maybe there's more to it or something. I don't know.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'd like to check it out actually, because I guess Weinstein changed the shit out of the movie and made it more funny and less dramatic, and they kind of disowned the movie, which is interesting. So,
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
yeah,
That's a nice
but
nugget.
I don't know. Like I didn't hate it, but like it was just kind of like, huh, that's interesting. And I totally thought like the classic drama bullshit school movie that, you know, Jack was going to try and steal the girl and partially succeed because
Sure.
the hero always has to lose everything in the third act and the transition to the third act, and then he fucking gets her back or whatever. And that is what
Right,
happened,
right,
just
right.
not via Jack trying to steal her. It was via going to the dean at Brown or whatever, which is much
Sure.
better.
It was great. It was very heartfelt.
I kind of didn't really like the voiceover at the end.
There was a,
like
there
I
was
like
a
that
voiceover.
Baldwin
He
shows
did,
up for his kid, and I like that the guy's like "fuck you" and doesn't shake his hand because that's totally something I would have done. But the whole like you little shit when fucking Jimmy's like, yeah, but I'm gonna graduate, and then they're like, it's like coming up over the car, and they're like talking shit as they drive off in obvious ADR or whatever.
You didn't like that? Why?
I mean, I liked it, but it didn't kind of. I don't know. It felt like an afterthought, you know.
Huh? Maybe they should have just done it while they were standing there.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and then just like get
Oh,
in the
I see what
car,
you mean.
or like a
Okay.
jump. They all jump up in the air and it freezes or something.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, because nobody's ever done that before.
There was an alternate ending where they run into Thunderfuck outside and Tim punches him in the face. Like I think that I'm glad they didn't.
I
do
heard
that.
about that.
They shot.
I'm glad
that,
they didn't do that either. There is narration in the beginning. Like he kind of he voiceovers and he narrate. He kind of introduces
when
everybody.
the movie starts, it totally reminded me of. I don't remember what movie it was we did recently, but it was like, yeah, that's me. Eh.
Yeah.
It kind of had that vibe.
I did that in the car the other day at work, and I could not remember where
I can't remember
I
what it
got
was.
that from.
But we were
it was
talking
you.
about it in like
No, it
a
was
really
you and I.
stupid
Yeah,
movie.
that's me. Back when I was on drugs, or whatever.
Yeah.
So many dumb movies like that.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
Maybe it was Conan.
It might have been. Incidentally, this episode's brought to you by Athletic Greens, folks.
What would this movie be brought to you by?
This movie would be brought to you by
CBD
I have no
gummies
idea.
or something? Dude, I love that scene. Like, let's just bits and bobs from here, I think. I love that scene where, like, he's hitching and he gets a ride in Jane's parents' car and he's like, hang on a second. And he goes and gets her a Coke. It's like, oh, that's cute. And then she's like, what is this? And he just pulls the flask out. You're like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
the rum,
know, like,
the bottle of rum.
it's a kind of like it's a fucking pretty suave move, you know? It's like, it's a ballsy move. It's a really ballsy
It's a very
move.
ballsy move, but it's also like, I mean, like that's, even though this
I would've
takes
done
place in the
that
70s.
If I had the cojones to fucking hit on a girl, that's that gorgeous. But like, that's totally the kind of thing.
I mean, I was a teenager 10 years after this movie takes place. And it was like the same thing, dude. Like, that's how we did, man. I mean, minus the hitchhiking, but like I knew plenty of people that hitchhiked,
Oh, totally. I did it all the time. I hitchhiked to work every fucking day.
Yeah, we did all kinds of shit like that. I love the hitchhiking element to this movie. I love how they hitch to Florida, then he hitches back up, he drops her off in Virginia, then and he's like constantly hitching back and forth to school. I mean, he leaves school like so many times during the course of the movie. Like I actually forgot how many times it was,
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
What other bits and bobs you got?
Oh God, dude. One of them, the one that I love is like, well, it appears we have a major situation, wouldn't you say, gentlemen?
And I just love that, like, I don't know. Maybe we would say something like that, but just the way he's just like, shut the fuck up.
Totally,
so good,
man.
dude.
Like right in the middle, like
whoa.
cuts him off. Yeah, at the perfect part. And like, but that's again what I'm talking about like bringing his way of doing things. Like he's unapologetic and he just does things the way he does things. And that's exactly what he's like. He's not afraid of him. He's like he says, he's like, what are you going to do? He's like, you're already going to boot us. What are you going to do? Eat us? I love that, man.
But that's like the Neo Matrix thing where he's like, no, he's just like had enough. And he just fucking is like, nah, not doing this anymore, man.
Yeah, totally.
I'll shout out
great.
a couple of lines that I liked, man. I
Yeah,
think
go for
like,
it.
I don't know. There's something about like the movie having a heart, but also just like the Farrelly style of comedy on occasion. Where like, my brother is in a wheelchair because of a freak accident. We were playing touch football and he fell off the roof, and you're just like,
roof, yeah.
I like it. Like, oh yeah. It just like is like a perfect stupid game kids play thing,
100%. Yeah, like we had a rock fight in the woods. Like that's what we did.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Same level of stupidity. Like, oh, nothing's gonna happen.
We got nothing else to
you
fucking
know?
do, right? Like whatever.
Exactly,
Rock fight,
man.
BB gun fight.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
shit, yeah,
totally.
dude,
BB gun fights were so
absolutely.
much fun. My buddy, we had a BB gun fight, but like it was the most like Pavo BB gun fight where there was only one BB gun, so we just basically just took turns shooting at each other, you know? Like
Okay, now you run.
now you say do.
Now you do.
You say do.
You wouldn't know a classy broad if she took a dump on your head. I was
Oh, that was good.
I just love it. It's just the bait and switches are so good in some of these lines.
Yeah, some of these lines are really, really real gems, man. Like that one. I like when Tommy the Wire is like, "Hey kid," or that whole exchange with Irv when he gets really fucked up after he goes, "What's this?" And drugs gives him a Quaalude, and he's like, "Oh, it's vitamin Q. It'll help your throat." And then he's all messed up, right? He's like, "Kid, you're about to get this fucking dot in your head."
Oh, really?
You're gonna throw the fucking dot.
Yeah, dude, Irving is great. I don't know. He just finds his fury again, and I really like that. I like that he's just like,
totally.
"Fuck you guys" by the end.
I like again. I know we're super all over the place, but going back to the relationship between him and Dunphy, like I like that he just invites Irving and the girl to Pawtucket for the party. Sure. Like he doesn't invite any of the other guys from school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, he's a smart kid for being, like I can't, I want to go to Arizona for college because it's near the beach or whatever. Like,
oh my god, dude!
But also, like, it's just through lack of education as opposed to him being dumb, which I don't know.
Exactly.
I like that too.
I like it too. I love when he goes, "Explain to me how Arizona is not on the ocean."
Like I'm looking at the map. Well, there's lots of it, and I mean, it's really on the nose. But like, I can't even remember some of them. But a lot of the words that Baldwin uses, like they just misspeak really often, like say the wrong word, but it sounds close enough to the real word. It's just great. Like
when he says to her after they like reconcile everything, and she gets back into Brown, he goes, no, wait. He goes, I want to remember this moment. Without all this like haze, this is really good. He goes, I want to savor it. Yeah, exactly.
I want to savor it. Yes.
And then he goes, "Okay, I got it. You can torch it."
Yeah, it's just so good, dude. That also too the Christmas presents. Like for whatever reason, you just like you're rooting for the kid, And like she gets him whatever she gets him, like a Springsteen album or whatever, and then he's like, "Here
Asbury
you go."
Park,
and you think, and it just comes off I think it just comes off the mom conversation. So you're like, he's gonna give her like a piece of his mom's jewelry or some shit, and she picks it up and it looks like the jewelry. He's like, dual roach clips.
I stole him from the dentist.
Yeah, I got him from the dentist, and she's just like, I just love it. I just love that. He's a fucking stoner knucklehead. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I was like that. And then she like appreciates it as opposed to like wanting jewelry or whatever. I don't know. It's just something really heartwarming about that.
No, it was great, man. Also the exchange when they're sitting on the old piece of like construction equipment, when they first kind of hang out.
The insecticide.
Well, the insecticide part was great, but he goes, "Okay, Betty." And she goes, "Betty?" And he goes, "Tim." And she'd been calling him Jim for like, Jim, the first whole bit that she met him. It was good.
He's a funny kid, man.
He really is.
He's got some swagger.
Who? What are you, an owl?
It's kind of bits and bobs, but shout out to the soundtrack. It was the most classic rock radio shit ever.
Well, dude, the Farrelly brothers use ELO's Showdown in almost every movie they do.
I love ELO.
It's so good. I know. And that song is really great.
They are the best.
There's some other really choice tracks in there, though, too, man.
I did
great
some backpacking when I was a teenager, like after high school and stuff. And it was actually in the before CD days.
Ooh.
So I had, from the first two trips out of school, I had a fucking cassette player, like a Walkman, and I had, on my first one, it was like, a Hendrix tape, a Beatles tape, like that kind of shit. But on my second trip, I had an ELO tape. So like I have just this
so
much love for ELO. You're stuck with like
Nice.
5 albums and you just listen to them ad nauseum.
I mean, there's like an ELO greatest hits that's like pretty much fucking solid gold from beginning to end.
I think that's
Nice.
the one I had.
like
Yeah,
every
it's
song
banging.
is fucking just amazing.
Yeah. I've dived a lot deeper into their catalog, you know, like I love some of their more obscure shit
Sure.
based on the fact that I fell in love with that best of. But man, I think we're talking about the same album. It is fucking banger of a best of. I don't normally do the best ofs, but it's a banger.
It's a bang. Well, I mean, it's like a best of from like when it was
Yeah.
contemporary. You know, it's like
Yeah.
he
It's
made
not
like
a
3
20-year
albums
later
and
thing.
then they made like a best of. You know,
Yeah.
Like, it was
Halfway through the career.
kind of
kind of thing.
or they'd make like best of like volume 1s or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like the record companies would. So
Yeah.
it was like one of those. Like it was contemporary. It wasn't like a 20 years later thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it was a great introduction for me, you know. It's a great intro to the band if you'd never I'd never heard of them before. Like my buddy's girlfriend fucking turned him on to them or something. So I like snagged that randomly at like a Virgin Records fucking tape bin for like $1, you know what I mean? It's like
There you go.
Right. But a lot of the needle drops in this were well chosen and well timed. I found myself like singing along, you know, like I was like,
Me too, man. And I really like, there was definitely a lot of sort of, I really like the soundtrack. So this is going to sound negative, but there's a lot of like predictable
yeah,
bands and tracks that they throw in. But what I really liked was in particular, was the inclusion of Roundabout by Yes. Not just because I'm a massive Yes fan, but that's sort of not like a mainstream
that's one of my favorite Yes tracks too. So when
track.
that drops,
Yeah,
I'm like,
to throw. So I'm
yeah.
glad they threw that in there, man. That's a good one. Really,
Totally.
really great.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like for Yes, it's
big.
it's definitely like a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for other people, well, you know,
Other people go, "Oh, is that by that weird band?" Yeah,
it was just weird music. It was
right.
this guy sung really high. I don't know.
Another elf
Yeah.
from Canada, but not from Canada. Yeah,
Well, and for a movie, it's such a great way to go from silence to a needle drop because it's just got that like real like dilly 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 ding, you know, like it just comes in
the
and then
beginning,
kicks off.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beginning is really simplistic too. It's very cool. Yeah, good call there. Shout out to the soundtrack. It's really good.
I don't know, just like as a New England kid, cool. And as like a person who was in the trades who only ever listened to classic rock radio, you know, like when doing the work all fucking day, every day.
I know.
It
I
just
know.
because there's no classic rock stations over here, which I kind of like because now I can be wistful about them. Because when I was back there in the summer, I was like, oh yeah, there's 57 classic rock stations, but now there aren't any. So when I hear classic rock tracks, I'm like, oh, I haven't heard this song in like 10 years. Everyone else is like, I haven't heard this song in fucking 4 minutes.
There's a big Connecticut station called Weeby 108 that's been around forever, and they're still around. And like that comes on we put that on sometimes, and it's great. Like some of the stuff they play, some of it's like newish, but you know it's still classic stuff too, which is great.
Now
They
you
were
turn on
playing
the
Whitesnake the other
fucking
day.
old school station. And it's not classic rock, but like the stations over here that are like oldies, and it's like Nirvana. It's like, oh
I
my
know,
God.
right? Totally. I know. It's fucked up.
Oldies, it's Dave Matthews. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. You're
What?
just like, seriously, dude, this is like a grunge radio station. This is not oldies, my man.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think so going back to like great lines and things that we love, like I love the exchange between him and Funderburk at the beginning. So he gets off the bus, Funderburk meets
the
him
no
right
shit
away,
one.
and he's like, and he goes, "Okay, here are the rules." And he's like, "No this, no that, no swearing, no shit."
It's so good.
Great. Yeah, just good timing there. What else? I mean, we gotta shout out the Benny's favorite, which is Alec Baldwin talking about the fucking ice cream, dude. It's so funny. He's sitting there in his underwear
Yeah, what is
eating
the
ice cream.
other flavor he
It's like
says?
so perfect, right? No, he's talking. Yeah, the other flavor was Heavenly Hash. That's who he had.
Heavenly Hash.
I gotta bribe the kid down at Norm's.
It's got like all natural preservatives or some shit.
Yeah. I swear the way I remember it was like, you know, Dildo walks up and he's like, ice cream for breakfast, Pop? And he's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's got all natural preservatives or some shit. But that's not what it is at all. It's like
kind of, but you're not far off. It's like
It's
he
pretty
says,
close.
like he goes, "What are you going to eat the whole thing?" And then he's like, "I'm just picking," you know. And then it's like he does this thing where he does it a couple times in the movie, and I really like it. Like he tries to sound smart in front of his kid,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, yeah, it's got all kinds of all natural preservatives or some shit."
But like, there's so many layers to these jokes because it's like all of that stuff, and he's sitting there in his like boxers and wife beater watching like fucking weird cabaret shit on a black and white TV or what I'm perceiving to be one, you know? Like, I don't know, man. It's
No, you're right.
Because that earlier scene where he's like, oh, she's a pretty good dancer, you know? And it was just like,
Yeah. It's like he's watching like old Ed Sullivan's or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some
Or, like,
Ed
fucking
Sullivan
laughing or
type
something,
show.
you know?
Like that's what he's always watching. You're right.
Yeah. Which is also a joke because you're like stuck with whatever bullshit's on the 4 channels you got, you know?
I know people still don't like.
It was great.
Younger people just cannot even conceptualize that reality today. You know,
That's
like,
it.
Just watch whatever was on, man. Same thing with cable, dude. You know,
No doubt.
something about the spirit of the radio, man.
100%, dude. It's not, and
Yeah,
I mean now today we got a new phenomenon. It's like it's called fucking anxiety, just looking for something to watch because there's
No
too
doubt.
many shows. You know what I mean?
No,
doubt.
it's not cool.
Not cool at all. What else? Bits and bobs.
We breezed past it, but like, shout out to the scene around the poker table where George Wendt comes out. I don't know. I really like it.
It's great.
It's a heartbreaking moment, but it's just really well done.
Kind of, but he kind of handles it really good. Like, you know, he's just like, what the fuck do you care? It doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that guy that plays Kavich is so funny. It's his face and the way he carries himself and his voice, you know. What are you saying? You're into something like that, you know?
Totally, man. I don't know.
He's freaking great.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, old man Dumphy is like, you get the impression that he knows for sure. And he's like trying to be like, dude, no, don't tell, you know, it's like,
don't.
he knows he's like had it and he's just like, wants to just get it out, you know, and he's like, no, don't, dude, stay in there.
Yeah, he looks at
in
him.
Yeah.
You know,
Keep it in the box.
It's like misguided as it is, you know, he's like trying to like help him, you know, he's like, no, that's not what he meant, you know?
Yeah. That's a great Alec Baldwin bit there. That what you're talking about.
He means like, you know, is just different.
You're just fucking around, you know, queer, you know. Yeah.
Freaking guy is just so good.
This is, I mean, first time I've seen this performance, and it's like it's 98 or 99%. Like the accent falters a little bit here and there, which you can't really get too grumpy about. The only reason I know it is because I'm from the region, but it's one of his best. It's one of his best.
It really
a really
is,
enjoyable
dude.
performance.
And I love him and Richard Jenkins, man. Like Richard Jenkins he's one of the most like, maybe not so much now, but he is such an underrated guy, man. I mean,
Really
he's like, we were talking about John C. Reilly and somebody else the other week, and Woody, actually. You know, we were talking about Woody and John C. Reilly and just saying how like they were so funny and they can play such intense dramatic parts as well. And he's like that too, man. You know, he's Jenkins is like that too. He's been in so many productions, man, and I've seen him play an absolute bastard. I've seen him just play like these sort of straight dramatic parts, and I've seen him. He's been in so many funny movies, man, and he always delivers. He's fucking great.
Yeah, he is, man. Ted,
he's the
gym
dad.
owner in
Yeah,
Burn After Reading is just like he's so funny in that movie.
And he's also the dad, the stepdad, and Step Brothers. You know, and like I mean, you could just go on and on and on. He's just fantastic,
he's
man. You know.
Jesus, dude, this guy's got shit tons of movies and TV.
He's got so many credits, dude.
Going all the way back to 74. Like,
you talking about Jenkins?
Yeah. He's that's a heavy hitter, man. That dude has found some work.
Oh shit, yeah.
But he's still he's certainly, I mean, maybe underrated might be hard. I agree, but like underperceived. Like I wouldn't have assumed he's done so much stuff, but I just love him in everything I've seen him in. Which I suppose is the definition of underrated. Like he's so good.
It's like
Go
he's
ahead. Like a that guy, you know.
He is a that guy.
He is a that guy.
Like,
you're right.
100%.
And it's like every part he has is like, it's not just like, you know, the guy serving coffee at the Cinnabon. You know what I mean? It's like they're good parts, man. Like, and I mean, you look memorable. Yeah, absolutely memorable. And you look at the list of films, and like, there's some absolutely amazing films in here. Step Brothers, Burn After Reading, The Kingdom, you know, Fun with Dick and Jane, 6 Feet Under. You know, he was in 21 episodes of that. I Heart Huckabees, Cheaper by the Dozen. I mean, it's like goes on and on and on. And then all the way down to the bottom with like Stealing Harvard, you know, which actually was not a terrible movie.
Sure.
But, you know, he was in Say It Isn't So, which is another Farrelly Brothers movie. Also in Me, Myself, and Irene. You know, like he's clearly a favorite of theirs. Something about Mary.
He's great.
Absolute power. Yeah, he's freaking crazy, man. The amount of credits is just...
And maybe to come back to that, what I was saying, that George Wendt coming out scene, like shout out to George Wendt. Like he plays that scene real subtle.
Oh, God.
Which is nice. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame that we lost him.
I know. He's a funny guy, dude. And yeah, you're right. That scene is really good. I really like the way it's done. You know, he's kind of very matter of fact about it, you know, and sort of philosophical about it, which is cool.
While we're on people passing, Peter Kwong, who played Rain in
I saw that,
passed.
dude. I saw that. Yeah.
No.
I know.
I saw another one this morning. Someone else passed too.
Oh man.
But yeah, shout out to Peter Kwong.
Yeah.
Losing
big time. Anything else as we head towards the NDR?
Sunset.
Thank you. The sunset,
Nah,
yes.
I don't have any nugs, man.
I don't either. I actually didn't even look at the nugs section, man. Is there even one?
Not really. Just the they disowned the movie because Weinstein changed it. So I'd be interested to check out the book maybe, because it's kind of a cool story. And like, I guess Peter Farrelly wrote it about his youth at Kent, the private school in Connecticut. So like, it was fictional, but
fucking Kent.
I know.
Yeah. I found the other person who I just saw this morning. Loretta Swit, who was Hot Lips Houlihan from MASH, died too, which is
oh man, really?
Yeah, like
man,
yesterday
dude,
or some shit.
That's a bummer. Fuck, Jesus.
Shout out
not
to
Houlihan.
Yep.
I kind of want to
Hot Lips.
go and watch that whole series again. I was so young
MASH?
when I watched it.
Right.
It was one of those things you just saw on TV.
Sure. It was like a fixture.
Yeah.
It was just.
I've had
always on.
a weird instinct to go back and watch some of that stuff.
I don't know.
I've had a
It's
weird
probably-
instinct to go back and watch like Happy Days.
Yeah,
you know?
I can imagine getting bored by it, but like, I just feel like, I don't know.
That's
Could be
so
the
weird
comfort
you say
food
that
kind of a
because.
vibe.
Well, I saw like American Graffiti came across my frame the other day, and that's kind of what Happy Days like was based on. Like that's
Sure.
what
I've never seen American
started that.
Yeah.
I need to check.
I
it
haven't
out.
either, but I was like, you know what? I almost hit play as soon as I saw it because I was like, I've never seen this movie, and it's like got all these like actors I love in it, man. Like I should just throw this on right now. And I didn't. I put it in my queue, but I fully intend to watch it. Feeling that same vibe you guys are talking about. Like it. Well, all right, deaths.
That's it. Recommendations? Or no, that's a death.
Yeah, that is a death. So deaths we had 3, now we have 4.
Alex Baldwin. That was a good one.
Yeah, so Chad had the Alex Baldwin death, then I ejected on Jonathan Brandis, pretty run-of-the-mill ejection, and then I had the I can't fucking speak death when I was trying to say time more well spent, but I couldn't barf it out.
You also had the fucking jizz and dildo line that should have been a death.
Why is that a death, though?
It was just such a fumble that I just think I don't know. I don't know what kind of a death it is, but
I don't either. I'll put it in there though.
I think it was just funny.
Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel, dude. It was a good unassuming moment. So all right, we'll leave it at the death count at 4. That's good. Pretty standard for us these days. Also, okay, so yeah, sorry, recommendations. I'm gonna just jump right in and go first. I would 100% recommend this movie if any of our. I'm sure most of our listeners watch the movies before they listen to us talk about them. But if you haven't seen it, this movie is so good, man. If you're from New England, if you like Farrelly Brothers movies, even though they kind of disown it, like it's still great. Go see it.
it's not a Farrelly Brothers movie though, which I like because I'm not really huge on the Farrelly Brothers.
You're right. It's not. It's Michael Corrente.
It's like a Rushmore, or it's not really like a Rushmore, but you know what I mean. Like it's a different kind of thing, in a good way.
Right.
You know, making sex is like Chinese dinner. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people haven't seen this. I certainly hadn't, or heard of it. Maybe I'm an outlier, but I agree. 100% worth a watch for the first time. It's a warm bowl of chowder or a revisit.
Right.
It was implied by the conversation, but it sounds like you guys think it held up perfectly well.
I think it does.
Or
I think it's
maybe
great.
Better as you get older and look back on it. I'm curious.
But certainly after like having the conversation with the two of you, there's so many other things. Like not only did I notice that you also brought to my attention that I think are great. So it's enhanced it for sure.
Yeah, it definitely held up. I am on that motorcycle. I would fully recommend it. It's got some laughs. It's got some tears, you know. It's pretty feel good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Definitely.
But not saccharine. I got Nuggety Bob, actually. Shout out to the fucking tall, long-haired, devil stick owning in 1974 stoner dude who puts the little spray-painted pillowcase on the fucking sign out front at the end there before graduation.
I love that.
Oh my god, dude, I love that. So good. That was done so well. The way
really
he kind of like looks around and like
Kind of slinks out from behind. Yeah, he's slinking, no doubt.
Very, very cartoonish almost.
Yeah.
That's great. Fantastic. What do we have on deck next week? We already kind of mapped out our next like 4 shows.
Next week we're doing
definitely
the new season of Andor.
Oh boy, I'm gonna get on that tonight.
Yeah, samesies. I
Yeah,
kind of wish that
it.
I had prepared better because I watched a recap of the first season and was like, I should watch this whole first season again. But it ain't
That's
fucking
what I
happening.
thought. I had that thought too. Like, and now I'm like, I don't think I have the time to choke the whole 2 seasons.
I just don't know if I'd enjoy it if I had to do that. So I want to just enjoy it.
Yeah, same here.
So that's what we're doing
now
next
that
week?
I've seen the whole thing, I kind of want to do the whole thing.
Yeah, do it, man.
Wait, say that again.
I want to do
now
that
you've
I've seen the whole thing. I want to like
Go back.
go from Andor season 1 all the way to Rogue One.
Dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like we fairly recently decided to. I think we watched Rogue One first. Snaps and I.
Sure.
Because she hadn't seen it, and I was like, "Oh, you got to see
Wow.
it,"
Yeah.
or she'd seen it and she didn't remember. I don't remember
Yeah.
what the case was, but we had a good reason to watch it, so we did.
Sure.
And then that prompted like, "Oh, let's watch Andor again," and then and then we both seen Andor too, and I'm like, "Oh, I kind of really want to watch the whole thing like in order now."
Huh.
Sorry. So when you guys were watching Rogue One, was that like in between Andor 1 and 2 or before Andor? Yeah, in between Andor 1 and 2? Or was it in prep?
It would have been in between Andor 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then that prompted us to want to watch Andor again.
Yeah.
Like the first season.
The first
again.
season. And then there's like a 3, 6, 9 months
And then
until 2.
not too long,
Yeah.
the second season came out. So
Gotcha.
Huh.
I
Okay.
kind of feel like, I mean, maybe this is, maybe not, but I kind of feel like maybe we do Andor season 2 this week, upcoming, and then maybe Rogue One.
I
Is there
really
anything
like
there?
that idea, and I think I really want to try to choke down season 1 now too. Like I
I'm
like.
in Sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Finish.
go ahead, please.
No.
I didn't have anything really important there. I was just sort of blithering.
Well, I'm blithering too, really.
Oh, all right.
I've been in, like watching press tours, for the second season of Andor and every possible funny story between Diego Luna and Alan Tudyk.
Oh,
hell yeah!
I like that.
There's plenty of.
Okay. Right, because obviously
Alan
K2
stuff in general.
So we get okay, right.
Then Alan Tudyk walking around in stilts and tights,
right,
essentially.
Right. Great.
There's a great. I think it's from like season 1 of Andor, but there's a great Conan interview.
Okay,
we'll save that for.
I'll check it out
down the line.
I'm really hoping I don't like. My concern, and I maybe would prefer no reaction to my concern because I don't want to be painted. My concern is I'm going to watch Andor 2 and decide that I don't like Star Wars anymore, and I'm really hoping that's not what happens.
No,
because I watched the like recap and I was like, okay, cool, I remember this being good, but like I kind of just don't know if I care anymore, and like I know I'm wrong here, but that's just kind of the headspace I'm at, and I don't want to be a fucking bastard about it, and I'm not going to be, but. I kind of feel like doing. I just like Rogue One is so fucking good that I kind of feel like maybe if we do that, it'll set me straight. We'll see.
But after Andor,
after.
I don't think you're going to be.
I don't either.
Disappointed.
I haven't even seen it. I don't even.
No, I don't. Yeah.
It's like a heavy. Dramatic story that happens in the Star Wars universe.
Which is exactly what I have always wanted. So like it's funny.
It's not your usual Star Wars shit. Yeah. Like it's pretty fucking intense, man. My only complaint about it is it was I don't know why, because it's the final spoiler alert. This is the final
it is
season of Andor. And they did a shit ton of like time jumping.
Okay.
To
your favorite,
like to cram it in, it's like, you spend like a year in this one place and then it's like 10 years later, and it's like they kind of like jump through, but that aside, like it was really solid and really like just intense and like emotional and
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like there's a really interesting opportunity for some combo there. And then I feel like I kind of like what you're saying about like going back and doing the whole thing. And maybe if we do Rogue One the week after, like there's an opportunity to do that.
Well, so I don't look, Mando in this show are like what kind of, I think I can certainly speak for myself, and I think the two of you too. This is kind of what like got us stoked about Star Wars again. Those two shows plus Rogue One. Like I just watched season 2 and 3 of Mando again. Like I don't know, 4 weeks ago. Like it's so good. I love it. So no, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. And I think it's a great idea to do Rogue One in 2 weeks. So let's just lay that out. So let me give you
2 weeks.
True.
Very nice. I'm gonna give you the ask, and then we'll do that. Right?
I feel like we just leave that in, to be honest.
All that shit? I usually never do. I always cut all that crap out. You want me to just leave it in?
I don't mind. You can do another take if you want.
Including what I'm saying now?
Exactly.
All right,
sure. You guys can argue about it later.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Let's do just that. All right. So there you have it, folks. Next week, we're going to tackle season 2 of Andor. And then we're going to follow that up the following week with Rogue One, which we're all excited about.
Yeah, dog.
As you can tell. So, join us for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And as always, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us for Outside Providence, one of certainly Ben and I's favorites. And now
new fave for me.
Favorite of Chad's too. So that's it. And we'll see you next week. We love you.
See ya.
Bye.
P.S.
And that's
Mousy
God.
says he stink
Yes?
fingered Bunny Cole.
Oh shit, dude. Nice. Oh, that's a death. It's Bunny Cody.
No, there you go.
You stupid piece of shit. And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can do so at your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/305, I think. Chad?
Yep.
Nice. Additionally, this is the part where we always thank everybody who supports us and listens to the show. We really
Thank you. We love you.
appreciate it. We do. We appreciate the people that have sent us coffee cards and sent us money on Patreon, and the people that have left us reviews. And if all of you that haven't, certainly longtime listeners of the show, if you guys can jump in and leave us a review, it's so helpful.
Or
man.
update your review.
Or update it, exactly, man. Bump the algorithm, man. Please, for us, if you love the show, please do it. We really would appreciate it. And then, of course, spread the word. Tell your people. Tell your friends.
And they
about
had
it.
2 friends. And they had 2 friends.
And they, exactly, man. And they tell 4 friends. So anyway, that's it. Also,
Exponential.
yes, exponential. And if you'd like to join us on social, you can do so on Instagram. Stop DMing us, all right? We're taking the gloves
can
off.
DM us.
Stop the
Just
DM.
comment too.
All right, whatever. But I would prefer.
But also,
yes, thank
Yes.
you. But in lieu of DMing, or also start a conversation in the chat in Instagram.
you
I know I
guys
said
like
this
each
before.
other.
That I know I said I
talk
promised I
amongst
would.
yourselves.
I know I promised I would engage on Instagram, and I haven't since I last said that.
So
but this
there's
time
that.
I really mean it. And that's it. Thanks so much for joining us for Outside Providence. We'll see you next week for Andor, and then the following week for Rogue One. So long for now, folks.
1 for C-Lab, 2 for Ego, 3 for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady.
Dildo and jizz.
Beady, beady, beady.
Fuck you all. I'm going to go do drugs.
Beady, beady, beady.
Chad?
Yep.
Nice.